getting mud on the computer.
Then roll your window up.
You're the one that rolled it
Okay,
down.
so we'll go over to Max 1 here and look at the debris detector. And
Hey, Eric, it's a lusty.
Again, it is lifting up toward Highway 62 between Duke and Altus right now. Between Duke and Altus, lifting due north.
Don't worry, don't go too much south of Altus. It may go west of Altus.
Highway 62, anybody on Highway 62 below ground. Storm cellar basement, if you can get there somewhere nearby, go there now. Below ground. This is a real grinder of a tornado on the ground for about 40 minutes. And now it's lifting due northward, no longer making immediate progress toward Altus. Altus right there.
Going northeast right into Altus.
Up
You
toward
need to go
Highway
back, turn here, go back to the
62.
highway.
Still very much on the ground. Big core debris there. East of Prairie Hill, north of Olustee, and to the east of Duke, and to the west and southwest of Altus.
Right here at the stop sign. Look at the road.
Shrinking in size, but still a powerful tornado on the ground just south now. Lifting due northward. Go, Eric.
I guess. I tried to tell you, Corey, that these roads don't go very far.
Is that it right there?
According to the velocities, I would think yes.
That's what location.
4 miles east of Olustee.
I just want to face that way for a second.
I think it's right over there.
It looks like it's right southwest side of Altus. It may actually miss Altus.
It's going to go right into Altus, Corey.
Right now, it looks like it's starting to head
You'll know where it's at when you start seeing the power flashes.
west of Altus. Out that way, you can get that.
Turn her.
Okay, let's go back over to Max 1. So it's just southwest of Victory. A little kind of Victory here on Highway.
Well, I don't know if you can get back to Altus before it gets there.
It could migrate to the east over toward Altus. Right now, that tornado is basically controlling the entire supercell and dictating what the supercell is doing. It's still on the ground right now. There's Duke, there's Victory, and Altus is right here. So it's lifting very slowly to the north. Very much still on the ground right now. Let's go to Corey Inmon now live. He is in Altus.
Now I am 4 miles to the east of Olustee. I've got the camera pointed back in that direction. Tremendous amount of inflow, all the rain and everything just being pulled right back into that area. There's so much rain out here on the southeast. We have quite been able to make a visual of it.
There's the highway.
We've had half dollar size hail and just torrential rain out there. So we're just back here at the highway and we're going to turn north and go back towards the Altus area and get up that way as it comes into the west side.
Is that paved?
Anybody on Highway 62 out to the life-threatening situation.
That's the tip.
Below ground storm cellar or basement
No.
away from windows. It's now almost up to Highway 62. Very, very close now to Highway 62. There's Highway 62. There's Duke. Clearly the tornado right there and the small town of Victory.
I don't have anybody pulled up. Well, don't worry about it.
Eric, you got to keep going.
Tornado now basically on the south side of Highway 62. It's right there. Dixon, update, Jackson County, Southwest Oklahoma. Go
Are
ahead.
your lights on? Your flashers on? comes east for you, you're right in front of it. Green. Small. Still south of the highway.
Okay.
2-inch hail.
So look for power flashes. Look for power flashes down near the ground. It's still on the ground back in there. It's crossing 62 right now. It's a powerful tornado. So the little town of Victory. A few folks, no doubt, have storm cellars, around Victory. They should have been there, 5 minutes ago for sure. Let's go back over Max 1. So it's now lifting up over Highway 62 to the west of Alpha right now. A lot of baseballs and their softball-sized hail. The tornado's still on the ground. There's actually a donut hole sitting right there on Highway 62, just to the southwest of Victory. So it's in the Victory area right now. There's the debris detector. It's still very much on the ground over Highway 62. We'll zoom on in. There's Highway 62. So Eric Dixon, let's go back to you. You're looking due northbound. And basically, it's going to be right there in the middle of your screen. If you see any power flashes, it's on 62 right now.
I don't see power flashes right now, Mike.
Due east. Or west. Corey. It's still south of the highway.
Okay, let's take a look at the debris detector here. It's literally on 62 right now, still on the ground. It's now looping slightly to the northwest, right there on Highway 62. Zoom on in, just southwest of the very small town of Victory here. So Victory's on the north side of 62. Here's the road northbound out of Biloxi. There's Highway 62. There's Duke right there, lifting very slowly now to the west and to the northwest, but still very much on the ground. There's a donut hole sitting right there. So it's a powerful tornado. Eric, I'm a little bit surprised you can't see it because it looks like it's opened back up. Perhaps there's so much dust and dirt involved in that. You might just see what looks like a big cloud kind of on the ground up in there. What do you think?
Is there what? Or my radar goes to 748 and it still has it south of the highway.
Just see
It's just to the southwest of you. You're getting 2-inch hail. There's the highway. You going north or?
Okay, let's go back over to radar here. So basically it's on 62, and
Eric, buddy, you gotta get up there, okay? 62, because it's gonna be north of you, north of to your.
It's turning right. Watch the radar.
Hey, Dillard talked to me. It kind of looks like it maybe.
Go that way. You can always turn around and come back.
Yeah, Mike, we're here in Altus, kind of stuck in traffic right now. It looks like there's a tremendous amount of cloud grow lightning. Just looking at velocities, Mike, it looks like it may have started to slide more to the east. And if of course, if it does that, it's going to come right down 62 into Altus. I've got the camera pointed back to the west there as I come through Altus. We're just trying to get to
No
a
sirens.
spot where we can,
No sirens.
take a look and kind of peek back in their array. Right now, sirens are not sounding in Altus.
Eric, I want you to stop here, and I want you to look very close to where you are. On the southeastern flank
Turn right, Corey.
of where the tornado is.
Coming right down the
So
highway.
this will be south of 62 to the east-southeast of where the tornado is. Do you see a new mesocyclone forming very close to where you are? Let's go over to Max 1. I'll show this to the viewers. This will put Altus more at risk. This area right here is trying to form a new rapid mesocyclone. If that were to happen, that could go into Altus. Now, these things can happen incredibly fast. So heads up in Altus, but there may be a new mesocyclone forming over the highway out of the lefty, heading toward Altus right now,
Yeah.
all right? That tornado's still on the
Yes.
ground. It's what we call occluding. It's
Yes.
spun to the
Yes.
northwest. It's still on the ground. It's almost totally stationary.
Guys, if you're watching online and you know anybody in the Altus area, tell them this thing is headed into the west side of Altus. Sirens are not going off in Altus.
It's the highway.
Down here in Jackson County, down near the Red River.
Eric, it's probably reforming to your west. Okay, so you get a place to pull over.
Cyclone Eric Dixon forming about right over you.
Corey, don't go
maybe
too
just
far.
to your east. What do you see?
Yeah, Mike, it's got a strong east wind.
It's right there out your left. And you're driving right into 3-inch hail, 3-inch hail, Corey.
Just need to get a clear spot.
3-inch hail. I don't really see any out there though. That's a big hail.
It's soft. It's flat.
Huh?
It's flattering, so it's soft.
Rotation's gonna be just south of it.
Okay, we'll go back over to radar here. Looks like the tornado's lifting right now.
Corey is it east side of Altus.
Let's go over to Corey Inman. It looks like it's lifting now.
Yeah, we're kind of trying to determine that right now, Mike. We're on the west side of Altus. We're looking back due west down 62. Haven't seen any power flashes or anything. We're taking $50, maybe a little bit bigger size hit here, just on the west side of Altus. We're looking. I've got the camera pointed due west down 62, and you can see there's just so much rain and everything back in there. Not getting a visual. Haven't seen any power flashes or anything back in there just yet.
Got a car coming.
We're going to turn around and blast to the east, and we're going to be on the east side of Altus for this new circulation.
Car coming.
No guarantee that's going to happen. Let's go back over to Doppler here and take a look. And there's nothing. It was making an effort there, and then it kind of flattened out. So that may or may not form a new mesocyclone. It doesn't appear to be ramping up anymore. It's ramping back down. The tornado is probably still on the ground. It's a little rope there to the west of Victory right now, just to the north of Highway 62. But it's not nearly as large or as strong as it was. A little rope tornado due west of Victory, about a mile north of Highway
Dillard power flashes.
and likely quite a bit weaker as well. Power flashes, so Corey.
Yeah, Mike, still here on the west side. Yeah, sorry, Mike, still here on the west side of Altus. You're looking due west, back 62. Had a couple of power flashes back there. Power has went out right here on the west side of Altus. It was back there where you see the street lights over the highway. That was flickering as we had the power flashes. You can see that almost still looks like power flashes just north of the highway there. So we're coming into the west side of Altus right now. We've got the camera pointed back into the rain there. Just can't visually make out the tornado because of all the rain. We did have a couple of power flashes. Yeah. Huh?
Where you at?
The west side of Altus coming back through town.
That tornado looks like it's done. It looks good, but it looks like new circulation south of, northeast of the London, south of Alpha forming.
Yeah, that's why I'm going back east, trying to get east of town here.
It's pretty good function, so how big's your hail?
Brody said he saw golf balls. I saw half dollars.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm not going to the London because they're going to drive through all that shit, because they may be wrapped in rain kind of.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, let's go back to Corey Inman. Corey, the cycle has re-intensified now just southwest of
Talking to you.
Mike, we're coming through the east side of Altus now. I've got the camera pointed down there. We're just to the south, just to the west of the Air Force Base here, Altus Air Force Base. So as we come through the clearing, I've got the camera pointed back in that direction. My chase partner says he's got a funnel back there just to the southwest of Altus. So let me zoom in on the camera here.
Not very big.
We're kind of obscured here, going through downtown Altus here, getting on the east side of all our dealerships and everything. But we've got the camera pointed back in that direction, Mike.
might be a tiny little rope moving, drifting due westward, but a new cycle may be forming on the southwest side of Altus. What do you think about that? You're on 62 right now.
Yeah, that's true. It's probably about, about 2 miles, 81 miles towards that direction. Here, so try to hope for a little bit of here on southwest side of Altus here, but I don't have a visual
On the road where I can pull off the road.
looks like, a lot looks like that where it was found being a police way that would be, towards the area. So it's talking about new cycle.
What update?
The last few years, like kind of knocked down a few notches here. But, starting to see on the cooler side hill, but
Okay, so we're talking about, this is southwest Oklahoma, everybody, down in Jackson County. And the original tornado on the ground for about 45 minutes. It was really large and very powerful. Mostly in open range country out here to the west of Olustee and to the south of Duke and to the north of El Dorado. Out here to the west of Highway 34, across 34, and then lifted to the north and then folded back over on itself and moved out to the west. You can see the donut hole right there, little donut hole forming. Power flashes out there on Highway 62. When it crossed 62 about 10 minutes ago, now a new cycle may be forming just to the south of Altus right here. See a new little subtle hook area there trying to form to the south-southwest of Altus. There's the debris detector showing the debris ball of the tornado lifting back to the west and likely has lifted now. There's debris feeding into what's left of the tornado between Duke and Victory near and just north of Highway 62. Let's go back over to Corey Inmon. He's in Altus right.
Yeah, Mike, I'm just south of the Air Force Base here. I've got the camera pointed back. It's going to be due south of Altus, due south of downtown Altus, and that's the new area of rotation that you were talking about. We took some intermittent golf ball size hail as we came through the Altus area, and just a tremendous amount of heavy rain. But this is the new area of circulation due south of Altus. We're less than a mile west of Altus, or I'm sorry, east of Altus, and just south of 62, and I have the camera pointed back to the southwest.
2 miles south of the base.
So that area of rotation should be, I'm going to say, probably about 3 miles to the south of the Air Force Base.
You're 2 miles south of the base.
It looks like it's getting broader. Would you say that's the case, south of Altus?
It's kind of, you know, it's changed shape the entire time that we've been sitting here. We have that one little area kind of right in the center of the screen. Let me zoom in here and you can get a better look at it. Just kind of that one area right there in the center of the screen as I zoom in. That's where we had the funnel earlier, and that's the tightest area of rotation. There's some broad rotation to the left and right. But there's that one centralized area of rotation right there in the center of the screen above the trees.
An ongoing situation down in Jackson County in southwestern Oklahoma. So here's the broad view. In case you're just now joining us here, here's all of Oklahoma, and there's no severe weather anywhere near the metro right now. One big supercell down in far southwestern Oklahoma, and that is one responsible for a tornado on the ground for about 45 minutes in western Jackson County to the west of Olustee. Right around that 7:10 to 7:20, 7:25 time frame, 7:30 time frame. New severe storm, by the way, going up in Harmon County, but this is all in far southwestern Oklahoma, and there's no guarantee that the metro will have storms tonight. A lot of the models say these do not approach central Oklahoma. They stay down here in the southwest parts of our state, but definitely a new area of circulation forming to the south of Altus and to the southwest of Altus Air Force Base. Ongoing tornado warning here, but the original tornado here has dissipated. Looks like it very much has between Duke and Victory, just to the north of Highway 62, right there. And that was on the ground for about 45 minutes. New circulation now south of Altus and to the west-southwest of Altus Air Force Base. Corey Inman's looking right at it. Corey?
Yeah, Mike, that one area of really tight rotation there, it should be just to the southeast of Altus now, probably cleared the highway there south of Altus, just based on our location of where that's at. We haven't had a funnel there since we were coming through the Altus area, and we're starting to get the hail moved in here, so we're going to slide east, keep a visual with it, see if we can't slide down the 10th of the state.
Back to the highway.
So you can see the original tornado dissipate right here. It's really clear as day what that is, right? And then it makes a loop and pushes back to the west, and it's gone. It's definitely gone now. West of Victory.
Hey, Corey, don't go all the way down the tip, and I think you want to stay east on 62.
The new cycle forming, and it's still very much ramping up. Let's go to Eric Dixon with an update. So this will be down towards Humphreys and to the south of Altus Air Force Base. down there in southeastern Jackson County, and it'll be a heads up for Tillman County. Heads up for Tillman County, the Manatee-Tipton area.
You get past whatever this is,
maybe
right on
your
the
way
edge of the
to
box,
Dixon,
you can start to drop south with all the roads.
Yeah, right now.
But I have to be able to get my grease without getting stuck.
Well, do you want to go south now? Because if you go south now, you can't get very far back east. Expires in 9 minutes. So.
What do you see back there?
Nothing right now.
Yeah, new tornado warning now for Altus, South Altus, over toward Hedrick and down to almost Tipton. So we're talking about the river down there in Tillman County. So that's a new tornado warning on the new cycle that we've been showing you. Corey Inmon there's been showing it to us. The old tornado has lifted, and there's no longer a tornado warning in effect for the old tornado. There it goes, right there. It makes a big loop and goes away. But here's the new circulation doing a pretty good job. It's ramping up fast. South side of Altus heading down toward Humphrey and down eventually toward Tipton out of Jackson County into Tillman County. There's the strongest indication yet of a tornado forming right now, right there on 283. So 283 down to Humphreys, that is a tornado warning. The pushing of the wind, the shear detector shows the tornado, the powerful tornado earlier. There it is. And then the new circulation forming just south of Altus Air Force Base, just southeast of Altus, and heading down toward Tipton. Let's go to Corey Inmon because he's looking at.
Yeah, like we're eastbound on 62 out of Altus. Flipped it over to the night vision just to kind of try to see through the rain there. That base looks pretty flat. The one area that we had just a few minutes ago where we had the really, really tight circulation is kind of flattened out, and that may just be a cyclic phase that we're seeing here visually. So just panning the camera in there, don't see any kind of fingers or anything hanging out of the base of that storm. Nothing that would indicate that we have a tunnel or a tornado in there. We're just ahead of it. We get up here, we'll be able to try to stop and get out of the rain. Should have better vision, but right now, from where we're at, Mike, it just looks like a flat base across there as we head east and south. I'm about 4 miles to the east of Altus on 62, and we are headed east.
Corey, hold up with me for just 1 second. There's a secondary, like a hook forming to the west, back over there by northwest of Olustee again. So maybe if you can cut south and split the difference and maybe pop out on 5, where you can
Turn
see
right.
back to your north and west, that might not be a bad idea to get out of the rain.
There just momentarily, the red and the green, right next to each other, 8 to 8 like swinging gates.
Okay.
In opposite direction,
You're
going
going
to
to go south until
back a
this
little bit.
road
Just
ends,
making
right
an
here.
effort to produce a tornado to the south of Altus Air Force Base and to the southeast of Altus and down toward Humphreys in Jackson County. The pushing of the wind definitely has a little hot spot
Okay,
right
then you
there.
can't go
There's the
south.
old tornado there that's on the ground.
None
for
of
about
these go
45
through.
minutes.
You
Very
have to
powerful
go
tornado.
all the
We're
way
showing that to you live
over
here.
here.
Stream a short while ago. So here's from Jackson County into Tillman County.
I don't think any of these are going to be
That
paved,
area right
Corey.
here. This is in far southwestern Oklahoma. Let's go back over to Corey Inmon. Update on that location right there, Corey.
Yeah, Mike, still pan back from the southwest here, and just there's just so much rain in there. It's really hard to see. Still looks like we've got a pretty flat base, but noticing a couple areas of circulation back there. Just panning the camera in there to see, you know, do we detect any power flashes or we able to pick up any type of thunder or anything. And just right now, we don't have that flash. So we're going to continue to slide east, south here, get out of the rain.
The problem is, Corey, you're going to have to get all the way over here before you can go.
Of Highway 62 here to the east of Altus. Corey Inmon over here by Altus Air Force Base. So there's Friendship right there. Altus Air Force Base is right here.
But it's probably not going to be paved either.
62, and that circulation center is just to the south of 62. Doesn't want to push too far to the southeast.
Right here.
It almost wants to almost due eastward, so it may parallel 62 just to the south of 62, but it is heading in the general direction of Humphreys there, and just near and south of Altus Air Force Base. Some hail are lifting up into Altus Air Force Base right now.
Telling you to go
back
south
over to
right
Corey
there.
Inmon. Talk about your visual here, Corey. A couple of hot spots.
Yeah, the hill's been kind of intermittent, Mike. I haven't really ran into an extensive hill tour. Just had some half baller and an occasional golf ball back on the west side of Altus. So we came through Altus going east, just kind of some intermittent sporadic hail here and there. Visibility with the rain is just it's horrendous. Maybe, I'm going to say, maybe 25 to 30 yards in front of us. Just blinding rain. Now we've got traffic trying to pull up and out of the rain. We have the camera pointed back there to the west and the southwest. But right now, we just haven't been able to make anything out. So it's hard to say if anything's on the ground there or not. Just looking for power flashes, and maybe if it is on the ground, see it, helps its head out of the rain. Right now, just haven't had that happen yet.
Our team coverage and our traffic has been working hard. So if you're just tuning in right now, this is an overview. I want to also
Corey, just keep going. I'll tell you when to turn.
So there's a bit of good news here. Not good news for southwestern Oklahoma. This will likely stick around for the next couple of hours.
That's the exact same way I'm trying to get you to go. Right there. That was the power flash.
Now the latest data across the board showing that these storms are going to move east into a less favorable storm environment. So when that happens, they're going to weaken quickly or even struggle to move east at all. That's why some of this is barely flowing east.
Moving northeast at 4 miles northeast of Olustee, moving east at 10 miles an hour. 2-inch hail.
We have a couple of showers in front of the morning, so that is certainly some good news. Not good news in southwestern Oklahoma, of course, earlier a multi-vortex tornado.
Turn your camera back a little bit towards the back corner of the truck, to the right.
Absolutely heartbreaking, but the good news is you're supposed to park
A little bit more.
because of the farms and areas that were hit. So this is earlier, Olustee video you're seeing here. It's hard to see through the haze. So this is one very large tornado. And the motion kept changing. At one point, it tried almost west. Stationary. So imagine a multi-vortex tornado just turning and spawning over the same spot again and again. When we say multi-vortex, it means multiple vortices. Vortices are miniature tornadoes. They all surround themselves. And as it picks up stuff,
What road is that?
it looks like one giant wedge tornado. They need a carousel around. So that's what
back down
we're
to
seeing here.
town.
Earlier,
It doesn't go very far.
and what's the back of the radar?
Hendrick.
So it's current radar, because in addition to this tornado warning that continues, that tornado lifted the new circulation that Mike's been talking about, and our trackers have been talking about. I also want to point out for the folks east of College, there's a pretty big hail force starting to pulse up right now. So another severe thunderstorm warning. All the green boxes you're seeing, that represents Corey, which locations? These storms are barely moving.
I'll give it to
They're
you.
encountering it almost
East
like
of
a wall.
Altus.
1 mile northwest of Hendrick.
Near Hendrick.
Causing them to almost sit overhead. So that's what we're seeing right now, just churning over southwestern Oklahoma.
3.5 miles, turn right.
Watching the circulation that we developed, it's now southeast of Altus, and it is kind of curving off to the east and continues. Tornado warning for any folks south of Altus. Right now, I want to take it out to, let's go to Eric Dixon first, and then we'll check in with
Should be right behind you on top of the highway, right over the top of Altus.
Earlier, you witnessed the tornado. What can you tell us right now, Eric?
Hey, Emily, I'm a couple miles from here.
Thanks for that report. Yes, and we are still watching this circulation as it is turning to southeast of Altus. Let's go ahead and zoom on in closer to the circulation. This is the location right now. It's going to be just southwest of Ozark. The general track at this time is off to the east-southeast, so it'll be traveling south of Hedrick and continuing to the east. But you know, it's struggling to move east, and what we've been watching throughout the entire late afternoon and evening hours is that it tends to occlude north or almost remain stationary. So that's what we're going to be watching. We also have Corey Inmon, who's also in the same area.
Yeah, Emily, we're here just on the east side of Hedrick. That's the town of Hedrick you see there in the shot. We're shooting back kind of between Hedrick and Highway 62 there where that new area of rotation is formed. Just looking for power flashes or anything. You can see there's just a tremendous amount of rain and hail in there. Whether we're on night vision or we're in color mode, either way, you can't really see through the rain. So we're just here east of Hedrick, and we're gonna hang out here and let it come to us. And see if maybe it'll stick its head out here and we can get a visual of it.
Still in the rain shield, but as it struggles to move northeast, I'm just questioning. Ordinarily, you'd look at this and say, okay, the storm's going to be rushing off to the east.
Eric, I think we've lost your shot. It's back.
Because it's encountering that wall, so to speak, that unfavorable storm environment, it is slowing down, and then that's when it starts to occlude and turn. So hopefully it will head your direction. You'll get a good view of it. Right now he's in the rain. You can see a ton of lightning with it. There's also the potential of up to 10 ball size hail out of this. Let's go back to the map. And you see how this is purple here north of Altus. That represents the very high reflectivity and likely the radar picking up on that big hail core. This is the circulation we're concerned with southeast of Altus. Not looking like what it was earlier when we had the multiple vortex confirmed tornado doing damage. It was picking up on radar. We do not want to see that. The only saving grace is it was more out in the country. A wider view showing the hail core, though, sitting right over Altus. So Altus likely getting hammered with up to 10 ball size hail because these tornadic storms, what's feeding it is a powerful updraft, and that's lofting these big chunks of ice up in the air, and they take their journey through the cloud each time. They're getting new rounds of ice on it and creating these big hail cores. And there's another hail core developing just west of it. Off to the west of that, northeast of Gould, notice a new
Corey, is that you?
as well. We can't ignore the hail
No, it's
in
Eric.
addition, like we've been saying, these storms have just been sitting there, so about 3 to 4 inches of water. And so there's going to be big time flooding. Let's go to Eric right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got tremendous high velocity winds. He's rocking the truck here back and forth. I mean, I probably got about 100 mile an hour wind out of the north.
Where the hell are they looking? Look at the top of that box.
This is the east of Altus here. The coast direction is starting to re right. Holy cow! I just had a lightning strike just like the in front of me here. But it's really starting to ramp up here. I'm just right here.
3-inch hail north of this highway. Northwest of the highway.
Out of the north, getting out 2 miles or 3 miles to the east of Alpha here. You know, the truck is rocking back and forth here. I'm kind of hoping the truck's not going to flip over here. It is really hard here. I'm going to try to turn the truck a little bit into the wind here so it doesn't, you know, try to hit my truck over. But it is extremely hard here. At least 100-mile-an-hour wind right here.
What's your exact location right now? Eric?
Approximately 2 miles, 2 or 3 miles to the east of Alpha. I'm going to have to kind of back out of this. It's getting too dangerous to be right here.
Yeah, well, let's go to velocity, guys, if we can, with his shot. Keep his shot as well if we can. What we're looking at is he's seeing this hot spot. You look at this bright shade of green picking out on velocity just south of Highway 62. So this is likely where he is located. And he's talked about these high winds. In fact, if we can go to Aaron Brackett right now, he's tracking the latest and can do measure on the winds, on the velocity, what exactly is happening. And this happens a lot, Aaron, with these powerful storms. As this is pulsing up, you're going to have strong inflow. You're going to have strong RFD winds that can be the equivalent of 90 to 100 miles per hour. Go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, and that's what we're seeing right here as we take a closer inspection with our Lynx system. So here's Altus. I'm going to circle it for you. Altus Air Force Base is going to be just north of Highway 62, so he's going to be south of that. Right here, the bright green, that's wind that's coming in from the north and west. So that might be feeding in. You see how there's a little bit of a zigzag right here? I'm kind of drawing that for you. That might be where we try to get the new circulation. So Eric Dixon's wind that he's getting from the north and west is going to try to wrap in and spin up something right here that would be south of Highway 2. So again, this is the area that we're going to be looking at for additional possibility of something spinning up. So you've got, again, your rain and wind and hail coming in the green this direction and the red heading that direction. So you can see where that circulation is right there, about 5 or 6 miles, 4, 5, 6 miles due south and east of Altus Air Force Base. It is far east of downtown Altus proper right now. And again, not moving that much, just as Emily was saying. I want to take a look at some of the lightning here. We're going to kind of back out of this just a little bit. And, you know, we look at lightning as for overall health of the storm. If you have, you know, more lightning or lightning rates increasing, that means that the storm is, of course, you know, healthier and holding on. If they're decreasing, the storm is also decreasing. So we'll turn lightning on. Here's lightning for you. We'll put a lightning count on it. So this is the number of strikes. See total strikes right there? That's the number of lightning strikes in the past 20 minutes rather. And it has started to come down.
Hedrick still good for you, Inmon?
A little bit, not a huge tanking of the lightning rates, but
I've got some
again,
pretty good rotation.
hail up and down, you get charged particles, and that's where you get those strikes. Let's go to Corey Inman right now. Again, he's just up.
Yeah, and that lowering is just to the south of Hedrick. Sorry, Aaron. Yeah, Aaron, that lowering is just to the south of Hedrick. We had a funnel come out of it probably about 30 seconds ago. Came out just to the left of the grain elevator that you see there. There's a lot of spin in there as I've got you on night vision and zoomed in, and that thing just keeps changing shape and changing shape. But we did have a nice funnel there just to the left of the grain elevator. And as Eric was talking about those winds that he was taking back to the west on 62, we had a strong east wind at about 50 to 60 that was blowing back in that area. So definitely the rotation, indication that the rotation's increasing. And you can see that lowering there just behind the grain elevator continues to evolve and get larger and larger. There's a lot of rotation there just to the south of Hedrick.
And you can see a couple little notches. You see that screen to the left of me right there. A couple little notches on the bottom side of the storm, and that's where we could be having some spin-up circulations there. Again, kind of just going east and southeast of Highway 62. Still a lot of rotation back there. And again, Eric Dixon had those just really strong winds just ripping in the backside. That could be spinning up a new circulation.
Possible tornado down there? Yeah.
Gosh, I'm kind of wondering about the hail size at Altus Air Force Base right now. They're showing
Yeah,
about
you guys be
3.5
safe.
diameter hail right over Altus Air Force Base, maybe the northwest side of the base. But there's obviously a lot of equipment down there at the Air Force Base. Huge supercell with big hail here, and also very large hail also back here to the west of Dune. And both of these have just giant amounts of ice with them. Earlier, this one's got baseballs going to close to softball.
Say it again, Dillard.
Moving pretty fast there, isn't it?
You know, the wind, the twisting of the wind, there's the tornado.
I kind of like this. You can see it, but it's not moving very much.
Did a big loop on itself and
And I'm
lifted
not getting held out.
100-mile-per-hour wind.
Are you in Hedrick?
Even softball-sized hail.
I'm
very
just
close to
northeast of
Alpha
Hedrick. That's
Airport.
Hedrick in the shot.
Up there for Force Base proper. Let's go back over to Corey Inmon. Tornado warning continues.
If you go 3 miles that way, you go south all the way to the highway to Tipton.
Yeah, Mike, still sitting here just northeast of Hedrick, about a quarter of a mile south of 62. That's Hedrick that you see there in the shot. And after I talked to Aaron there, that lowering just kind of broadened out, and it cycled again, and you can see we're starting to get a little bit blockier wall cloud there again on the left side of the screen. So this thing's just inching along. There's still quite a bit of rotation in there. There's just a tremendous amount of rain and hail with prodigal lightning due west of me between Hedrick and Altus. So right now, don't see a funnel in there, but there's a lot of rotation, and every once in a while we get a finger that sticks out there. So just kind of keeping an eye on that one little area there just to the south of Hedrick. My wind's out of the east-northeast at about 10. It's blowing right back into that area of circulation, that wall cloud. When Eric was mentioning the 100-mile-an-hour winds, we took an east wind at about 50 to 60, and just to the northeast of Hedrick. So it could have been an indication, that the rotation was ramping up back to our southwest there, as he was taking the north wind and we were taking the east-northeast wind. So right.
Right now, clearly the wind is blowing from left to right, which will be a north-south wind if you're facing eastbound. And the wind is still very strong where you are.
Highway. 9 miles? But if you go 3 miles, you can go south.
But it's got to be paved. I can't get down the county roads.
But it hasn't rained that much over here.
And I really want to beat the line of chasing.
Well, go then. Are you going to the highway? Or are you going 3 miles?
When I get 3 miles, I'll look and see what it is.
Okay, so just now joining us here, we got a couple of severe storms in southwest Oklahoma. We had a tornado, a really big one, multi-vortex tornado on the ground, large, wide, for about 45 minutes down in Jackson County to the west of Olustee. There it is right there. I'll step out of the screen so you can see the contrast more clearly. It's right in the middle of your screen. Very large. Kind of a big barrel shape, like a big 65-gallon drum, if you will. It's a multi-vortex, and it was a powerful tornado. Tracked out of eastern Harmon County and went into Jackson County to the west of Olustee and to the south of Duke, across Highway 34, and now it's moving a little bit more toward the right-hand part of your screen, still large. That was earlier, right around 7:35. Say that again.
Power poles broken in Jackson, Oklahoma. Reports of that, and then west of Altus, there are power lines down, power poles down.
So some of the example of the high wind going on with that supercell, power poles down, power lines down, and there's just really big hail. Eric Dixon's got 100-mile-an-hour winds coming in from the north on the eastern side of Altus. So this is now going back to live right here. You're looking at the lower left-hand part of your screen. That's Corey Inmon. Let's go back over to Max 1. Look at the Doppler velocities here, and 2 supercells down here again. There, Anadarko, Chickasha back up here. So it's quite a ways to the southwest. And again, many models say that it does not rain tonight. at least not until maybe the cold front approaches toward daybreak. So these don't race out of southwest Oklahoma. They just hang out down here. And that's pretty much what's happening. And these should weaken in the next hour to hour and a half as the capper lid starts to re-strengthen. But in the meantime, we have an ongoing tornado warning east of Altus and to the west of Tipton and near Hedrick and toward Friendship and Altus Air Force Base. There's a lowering here, 100-mile-an-hour winds coming in from the north. Powerful winds, Eric Dixon, power poles down, power lines down, and there's some golf ball, baseball, even some softball sized hail. There's the debris detector. There goes the tornado. A while ago, it's been gone for quite some time now as it was lifting up there to the east of Duke and to the west of Altus. And here's a little broader view. Flooding rainfall, flash flood warnings down here. So these are extremely powerful supercells. Here's the velocity. The green is the high velocity winds coming in from the north that Eric Dixon's in. There's high winds now at Altus Air Force Base, along with some really big hail, and that could be a very damaging hailstorm for the areas near Altus Air Force Base. Let's go back to Corey Inmon. Don't see an immediate sign.
Half a mile.
Yeah, we were just looking at that on velocities. Might kind of look like maybe starting to get a little bit of a low feature right over 62 back northwest. The area of rotation that we were watching as we come through the trees here, you'll be able to see it kind of broadened out again. Didn't really have that one centralized area like we had a few minutes ago. It really just kind of flattened out. It was still a little ragged, but didn't have that big blocky type wall cloud that had this centralized area of rotation. So we're 4 miles east of Hedrick, and the camera's pointed back to the southwest. You can kind of see it there around the mountain there. It just kind of flattened out and not really doing much right now. Not really doing much of anything. So we're gonna slide south just a bit, stay in front of it, and try to stand these high winds that are coming down 62.
You can go 3 miles and go back to the east to the highway. Or you can go 5 miles and go back.
I've actually, Mike, I've got a feeder cloud that's. I'll pan the camera here. I've got a little feeder cloud that's kind of feeding in there from southeast to northwest. And it's kind of going right back into the rain, which is right in that little area that we were talking about where it looked like we might have a little bow feature there, right over 62. So that may be exactly what's trying to happen. It's trying to gust out and blow out as it comes to the east of Altus right now at 62.
A lot of high winds. I mean, Altus and Altus Air Force Base.
Aaron, you okay, buddy?
Not even mentioning any tornado possibility, but
Yeah,
a very high-end supercell with some
Okay.
miles an hour. Power poles down, power lines are down, and there may be some
How far east of Altus are you?
gust front here. That bright green, that's that wind of 100 that Eric Dixon's been up in on Highway 62, and there's a big. From that, the twisting of the wind is not really there, but there's a gust front forming coming out right here, coming out eastward on 62 near Hedrick. And Corey Inmon was 3 miles east of Hedrick just a moment ago, looking back to the west. But these are high-velocity winds that came right through the Altus Air Force Base area, along with some really big hail and lots of flooding rainfall. Big hailstorm now at Duke, coming back into the West Altus Air Force Base and Altus area as well. But
Like
that's
a
baseballs right there, and earlier showing close to softball-sized hail. Let's check back with Eric Dixon. He's right there in the middle of that, east side of Altus there.
Yeah, I'm trying to progress a little bit east with it. I don't want baseball-sized hail flying at 100 miles an hour at me. So we got a dicey situation out here west of Altus here. Probably about 2 or 4 miles to the west of Altus here. But I would doubt
now?
there's going to be some damage in the Altus area from the hail. It's high velocity wind here, but perhaps it looks like this storm may be trying to gust out. So that may be the trend here. I'm still taking speed, probably 80 to 100 mile an hour wind. I'm just going to go with east here, trying to kind of stay out of that hill forward here. But it's really
It keeps going south.
quite like this.
Just a little bit.
Not an experienced person.
Okay, I need to to slide back east so that I don't get caught by all those winds.
So you can take your next left.
Okay, Eric, I'm
It'll
taking
go all
over
the way
here
to the
for a
highway.
second, and you are right. That is very dangerous. You never want to be in the middle of a storm. That's why we leave it to our professional storm trackers.
Or you can go
and
2 more miles.
100 mile per hour winds, no joke. It's terrifying when it slams your car. I've been there
the
before.
left after the
We're
bend.
glad you're all right. Let's go ahead and take a wider view. So if you're just tuning in right now, earlier we thought in the day that there was a chance for the metro this evening, and that was based off of previous
Corey, Hedrick, still good for you?
in the night. Today was a tricky forecast because
Yeah.
it was a warm front place. Also, we had that brief severe storm that happened in the metro late afternoon, and
Turn here.
thanks
Dixon, Altus, still good for you?
favorable storm environment building into parts of central Oklahoma.
You can go all the
So
way to the
that's
highway, or you can go 2 more
certainly
miles.
helping
Go all
out.
the way to the
That's
highway.
video earlier of it, yes. So that's building in a less favorable storm environment, and that's part of the reason why these storms are struggling to move east. They've been almost stationary a few times in southwestern Oklahoma, and we haven't been talking about it much. But in addition to
This goes all the way to the
the
highway.
multi-vortex tornado that happened earlier causing damage, there's a flooding risk, and like Mike was talking about, huge
Like 5
hail.
miles.
Huge hail. So let's go ahead and zoom on into the latest in southwestern Oklahoma. We still are under a tornado watch until 11 p.m. There is a tornado warning with this storm that's moving off to the east. At this point, it doesn't look like a tornado is imminent, but it can evolve quickly. We're seeing, though, powerful straight-line winds up to 100 miles per hour out of this storm. In addition to that, still the potential of very large hail. There's also a big hail core pulsing up over Duke. Duke was slammed earlier with a strong storm. So here's the latest near Altus. We continue to track. The worst of it, Altus has passed you. However, I want to point out that hail core over Duke, the current track will take it back into the Altus area. So you may get Wallace
6
again.
miles to
Not
the
done quite yet.
highway.
Here's a look at Duke storm. There's the hail core just north of the town of Duke, and that is moving more off to the east-southeast. Switching over to velocity, these bright green pixels, that represents the highest winds that are surging out right now into Hedrick. Actually, the highest winds will be just north of Hedrick, just north of Highway 62, and that continues to move east. Right now, let's go out to Corey Inmon, who's also been in this area.
5 miles southeast of Hedrick.
How far?
5 miles southeast of Hedrick.
Yeah, Emily, I'm 5 miles southeast of Hedrick. Right now, I've got the camera pointed back to the southwest. That area of rotation that we've been watching is just completely, that base is completely flat. Not seeing any signs of rotation in there. So, like we were talking about, that thing starting to bow out and maybe gust out just to the north of Hedrick. So, we're right in the south end of it. Trying to get over here to the highway, and then we'll have to blast back north to 62. But you were talking about the power lines down on the west side of Altus, and that would kind of coincide with what we saw when we were on the west side of Altus and had the power flashes, possibly when that tornado crossed 62 west of Altus. So that would kind of be in that general direction. But right now we're right here ahead of it, Emily. Haven't encountered the winds like Eric said back in the Altus area, just trying to stay ahead of it, slightly expected.
Looking at the velocity here, this is surging east. If it actually continues its current track off to the east, it could be eventually heading towards Mountain Park. So something we'll be watching. What we're also watching is oftentimes when you have a line segment that starts winds that start to bow out, we look to the northern part of the line for any brief circulation. And if that were to happen, it would be south of the town of Centerville. So that's something we're watching as it progresses off to the east. Zooming in a little bit closer, look at those high winds. So that's north of Hedrick pushing off to the east. And we were mentioning the damage report. So west of Altus, some down power lines. We have that new circulation pulse up. In addition to that, you can see this loop. That's up to softball-sized hail, at least baseball-sized hail that moved through Altus and progressed to the north and east, just south of the town of Friendship. That hail core is kind of broadened out at this point, and then to the southwest, you can see south of Duke, another hail core also pulsing up. That's closer to about golf ball size, maybe up to tennis ball size hail as well. In addition to that, we have had locally heavy rain, heavy downpours. So that's causing some localized flooding, reports of street flooding in Altus. So we're not done yet. This part of the state, Wallace, that multi-vortex tornado that happened